Hi guys, it's me Faye here at Faye Dusk, and I am back with another video. And in this video I wanted to talk about creating your own inner sanctuary. So this video, inner sanctuary, what I mean by inner sanctuary is we're talking about not a physical place, we are talking about a mental place in your mind that you may get to using meditation or spell work or dreams or whatever it is. But for me, my inner sanctuary is somewhere that I feel myself, at home, at ease, like my happy place. Like it's taken me a long time to be able to create an inner sanctuary, but it does involve imagination, like using your imagination and that form of sort of magic and intent. And it's a very or it can be a very complex form. I mean, if you find it easy to use your imagination, then you will find this easy. And the whole point of having an inner sanctuary is that I feel that it helps you cope with things in everyday life, like your sort of everyday stresses and things like that. I feel like if you have somewhere when you can't physically, for whatever reason, whether it's cost, time, whatever, physically go away to somewhere to sort of rejuvenate and recharge, it's important to be able to have somewhere, even if it's not in the physical realm, to be able to just to sort of relax and recharge and just sort of shed that negativity and sort of recharge your positivity. Like for me, my positive or my inner sanctuary is somewhere that is permanently fall. Like the leaves are falling and it is crisp in the air. It's coming up to Samhain, so the nights are drawing in. It's sort of quite dark. It's also a really pretty sort of barn type place. There's hay bales everywhere. There's candles, there's pumpkins, and in this place, like, I just feel like I can just breathe, if that makes sense. I can just recharge and just feel happy and at peace. And it takes time to build this place. Like, the way I started to build my inner sanctuary is, for me personally, I used like meditation. I let there in my room, so you find somewhere sort of comfy where you feel safe and where you won't be disturbed. And I let there, and I had some incense going and some candles, and I was let there against all my cushions, and I was cozy and comfortable. And I just sort of closed my eyes, and I started to focus on my breathing and just sort of trying to clear my mind of thoughts. And it is hard. I just sort of took my time. I closed my eyes, and I was just imagining, I was just thinking to myself, if I had an inner sanctuary, what would it be like? What would it look like? And that's what you need to do. You need to break it down and start and just think, what my inner sanctuary, what would it look like? What would it smell like? What would the smells be? So I started thinking of the smells, what sort of smells that I find that calm me and relax me and make me think happy thoughts. So I started thinking of all these sort of cinnamon smells and like nutmegs and like cloves and all that sort of smells. I was thinking those sort of smells, and then I started to think about what sort of things did I find to my eye sort of pleasing and relaxing. And so I started to think of getting distracted. So I could see the low battery flashing, so I think this is gonna die soon, but I would just carry on anyway. So I started to think of all the things that so I started to think of things that pleasing me to my eye. So things like I love fall, I love when the leaves are changing, when they're coming up the trees, I love seeing pumpkins and gourds and cornucopias, and then I started to think of colors. What sort of colors did I like? And all the sort of like for me, all the fall associated colors, like the oranges and the deep reds and the browns and the earthy sort of look. I started thinking of that, and then I started thinking of what sort of touch like things do I like to feel. And I do love the crunch of leaves when you hold them, when they've gone there, they crunch in your hands. And I love the texture of pumpkins and the hay bales, and I love that rough sort of wood feel of old style barns. And so I went from thinking, so I literally started to build a picture up in my head. So once you break it down and you actually think about the things that you feel like would be your happy place, if you just break it down and think of all those things, and then once you have all those things, you build them up together and put them into one picture, and doing that is how you create your happy place. And eventually, once you have that happy place and you have that sanctuary built up in your head and you know exactly what it looks like, you can journey there. You can use meditation or spell work or whatever it is that you find that will help you journey and get to your happy place. Like, you can do that. So yeah, so that's what it takes. Time. It does take time. It's not something that you can do tonight and it's done. It does take time, but when you do have a time, when you have a spare 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you go to bed or in the morning, like, I personally think it's really worth it to just explore what that is. And it helps feed your imagination as well. And once you can create somewhere that you're in a sanctuary, in a happy place, it's the beautiful thing about it is portable. You can take it anywhere. Like, you can, if you're at work and you're really stressed out, you're having an argument with someone or something is not going your way, you can just, on your break, you can spend 5 minutes, or you can go to the toilets to freshen up and spend 5 minutes and sort of get to your happy place. You can think about and get to your happy place. You're in a sanctuary, rebuild that equilibrium. And as well, it's just amazing to be able to think that you have this place where, as well, that you can be there and you can be yourself, and it can help inspire your creativity and your thoughts. And it's a place where anything is possible, where it can be anything you want it to be. Like, I am still building mine. My inner sanctuary isn't complete by any means, but that is the basic picture of what I have. And it does take time, and I'm still building it, but I love to be able to think that I can be taken to I can take myself to my inner happy place, and it be somewhere where I feel positivity and inspired and free and safe and happy. So I hope this rambly video